Hey there, Tilray traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, brand new month. Happy hump day, and I hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to be discussing Tilray Brands. We'll bring up the TLRY chart on the NASDAQ, and we'll do some technical analysis. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the price action, what to expect in the days, weeks, months ahead, and where do we go from here in terms of price action. There is a bear flag potentially looking to confirm on a shorter level time frame. I don't think it has the most likely scenario and odds of playing out, but we do want to go over the bull and bear case each time we look at a chart and try not to have a bias. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also, full disclosure, I do own Tilray in my portfolio. You can also give us a follow over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. I'm going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And if you haven't seen my 2024 MJ portfolio update video, I give my holdings and my entire percentage breakdown as well with weightings of each. So you can check that out, but Tilray being my biggest one. Also, just as a quick announcement, I'll be interviewing Morgan Fox, a political director at Normal, the nonprofit that lobbies the U.S. government. This will be for the third time, and it's going to be more of a conversation style video versus, a bunch of questions and answers. So it's just going to be a very laid back conversation, and it's going to be an exciting time. Also, we know that we just had the Schedule 3 recommendation. DA agreed to do that. So DOJ, DEA agreed to do that, but it's been a roller coaster in terms of price, and a lot of stocks were down 20-30% today, but most on average down about 10-20%. So we'll obviously be discussing that. We're going to be discussing some more bills as well, including the CAOA, which was reintroduced by Chuck Schumer and a bunch of other Democratic senators. And if anybody does have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Diving into the Tilray chart, so there is an hourly bear flag potential here. It's a very weak bounce here on this hourly time frame, and this coincided with the hourly bounce on the S&P 500 as well. As we know, we had the FOMC rate decision today. As expected, I mentioned this in the Power Group private community, it was probably going to be unchanged, right? So it's still sitting at 5.5%. So essentially, market started responding well to that, but it did sell off into the close. And as a result, we're seeing bear flags on a lot of our MJ names, and that includes Tilray. So taking a look at the hourly time frame, you can see here we started the hourly bounce when we broke the high of the previous hourly candle here in the last few hours of the day. So once we broke 201, we started the hourly bounce, but we only got as high as 206. So very, very weak. We didn't even get over the 0.236. Anything under the 0.32 fib there at 217 is considered a bear flag. So that would be an hourly downtrend if confirmed. In order to confirm it, we need to lose the double bottom support there at $1.96. If we lose that, then hourly downtrend and bear flag confirmed. And to get your measured move, you just go from the low to the high, move it out to your fib tool at the 0.32, and it's saying we could be targeting 162. Again, I don't think this is the most likely scenario. I don't think we're going to get that low, but anything can happen if the S&P 500 and the rest of the MJ sector continues to be weak into tomorrow, or we see any kind of black swan. Obviously, these stocks, any stock can go lower. It can always go lower than you think, and it can always go a lot higher than you think. Irrational exuberance, right? And then at the moment, there is an hourly bear flag. There's that downtrend, and then also the EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here on the hourly. So there is quite a bit of confluence and signs right now pointing that we could see more downside from here, and more than likely that would be hourly oversold. I mentioned today to Power Group private members that, generally after a big bull move like that, and I'll talk about why we're down so much in just a moment, but after a big bull move like that, usually 5-minute oversold is a great opportunity to enter for a very short-term trade. So somebody was asking me today, what's a good trade on CGC and Tilray? And first thing that came to my mind was 5-minute oversold, right? After a big bull move, after going on Tilray from the low of the day before to the high of the day yesterday, it was up about 43%. CGC was up about 83%. So CGC pulled back. The harder they run, the harder they fall, right? So because CGC was up 83%, it pulled back about 31%. Tilray only up about 43, pulled back 21%. And then we had like no support, right? Look at the 5-minute time frame here on Tilray. We basically had no support for about 15%, right? And even on the hourly time frame, there was no support at all. You can see if you zoom into the hourly, it was just one straight move up with no higher low. We're finally getting the higher low here now, and we could see, like I said, that EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. But in regards to the 5-minute time frame, you can see here we hit 5-minute oversold, and we started to have some hidden bullish RSI divergence with lower highs, lower lows on the price action, and higher lows and higher highs on the RSI. So that's generally showing that the momentum is shifting, and we also had a 5-minute EMA 12 and 26 bull cross after having that bear cross. So a lot of confluence here as well, pointing to a nice 5-minute oversold bounce opportunity with that EMA 12 and 26 bull cross in the 5-minute time frame, hidden RSI bullish divergence, and coming off 5-minute oversold. That would have been a quick, about 5% quick trade there, playing just off that 5-minute oversold and all those other patterns that I mentioned. So at the moment, not going to put too much weight to that hourly bear flag. We could confirm it, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think we're going to get it as low as 162. We were just at 165. Sorry, was it 165? Yeah, 174. Yeah, 165 USD. So we're just at 165 USD right before the decision from the DEA to agree to reschedule to Schedule 3. So I can't see why we would go down there. The only way that we would go down there, in my opinion, is if we had some big, massive FUD campaign saying that it's not going to happen, or the S&P 500 just has the bottom fallout, or some kind of black swan. But at the moment, we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the daily time frame, and we could change the weekly trend here with a break of resistance there at 297. Break that, we would be in a weekly uptrend with a low, high, higher, low, and higher high. And then at that point, we'd look for the monthly. But that's the most important time frame right now, is the monthly time frame. If we can get our low, high, higher, low, we're forming the higher low now. And if you didn't get a chance to add on this higher low at 161, we had another option at 160, a double bottom, and then again at 165. So that's why support and resistance is crucial. And that support held. It was gold, right? We were talking about that in the Pow Group private community. You know who you are. But like I said, record volume here on a lot of our names on the NASDAQ. And Tilray getting very close to record volume as well, but still a little bit of a laggard here. Some other names like CGC hitting all-time high record volume. If we just bring up CGC real quick here on the NASDAQ, last month was the all-time high record volume. That's what you want to see near a bottom, and you want to see big moves off of the lows. But we'll keep it centric here to Tilray. But the big reason why I think we were down so much today is the fact that I've been saying, how many times have I been saying on my videos that rescheduling was going to happen? And we also filled this gap as well. So I mentioned in a previous video, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but I mentioned that we would more than likely fill this gap around 250. Look where we hit, 252. So anybody who's not using technical analysis or looking at charts, you're just going in blind, right? And it's not to predict the future. It's just looking at the most likely scenario. And we had no daily resistance. So once we started the daily bounce here on April 23rd on Tuesday, that was the first time really since we bounced. I guess we had a little bit of a bounce here, but it was only by like 2 pennies. And then this was the real one that started here, and the EMA 12 and 26 bull cross lining up. So all the signs were pointing to a pretty decent move there coming. And we had barely no daily resistance all the way up to 297. So that gap fill seemed like the most likely scenario. So I think we're just filling that gap and then coming down, daily inside bar, tightening range, and they're going to keep everybody guessing. A lot of people probably FOMO'd in when we were up 30, 40, 50%, and guess what they do? When you tend to FOMO in, fear of missing out, when you buy on emotion or just hit the buy button, even if we're down, I posted about this on X that CGC is down 98% almost from February 2021 highs. Tilray's down, I think 97 almost. MSOS was down like 82 almost, and then Curaleaf down like almost 68%. So you definitely haven't missed the MJ boat, right? Even if you bought at the high of the day yesterday, we're still down 97% on Tilray from February 2021 highs. But what people tend to do when they FOMO into position is they get emotional. They buy because they're emotional. They're happy, right? They're feeling greed. They want to get in. And then you see that 10, 20, 30% pullback. And I mentioned this yesterday. We need to expect 10, 20, 30% pullbacks in some of these names, especially with no hourly support or anything established on the way up. It'd be different if we got 80 to 100% gains over the span of a couple weeks or a month or two or something like that and developed support along the way. But we didn't, right? On the hourly time frame, we just skyrocketed. And like I said, I've been saying for many, many months now, I even made a video saying on the 29th saying that I believe that it could happen tomorrow as the most likely scenario. Everybody, I can't count how many times I heard people say, oh, it's April 30th and there's no way it's going to happen this month. People start checking out. They do that for a reason, right? Markets can go up, down, or sideways, and we also need to be prepared for a surprise. And one thing that came out today was they introduced the CAOA, which is a bill to federally legalize MJ at the federal level. So we have to be ready for another surprise, and that surprise could be we could get descheduling. They could bypass Schedule 3 and go full-blown deschedule, right? So that could happen as well, and that's something the markets aren't forward-looking on, okay? So everybody was forward-looking on the rescheduling to Schedule 3. Every CEO, myself included, I don't know how many times I sound like a broken record, but how many times did I say it on my channel? And I even gave you the exact day. So, it's not uncommon, especially since we had no support, to give that quite a bit of that move back. So let this be a lesson that next time we go up 80% or 40% in a day, you need to expect a 10, 20, maybe even 30 or 40% pullback, depending on how much we run, right? If you go up 40%, you might pull back 10, 20. If you go up 80% in a very short period of time with no support, you might pull back 20, 30, I'd say probably 30 or 40%, right? Before you hit a local bottom. So, and then remember, next time in a bull market, just because we're in an uptrend and we're in a bull trend, you can still pull back 10, 20, 30% in a bull trend and still be healthy, right? If we just take a look at Tilray here back in the weekly time frame when we ran up to $67, along the way, it wasn't all, sunshine and rainbows. We pulled back 63% here. And then after this big move, we pulled back 43%. Then even here, we pulled back 30%, right? So you can have 10, 20, 30% pullbacks, sometimes even bigger, because of how volatile some of these names are and how beaten down they get. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let me know in the comment section below if you were surprised or if you totally expected this. But the pullback today, but as I said, everything's pointing to massive upside from here. We're seeing a potential flip here as well in terms of the stochastic and MACD. MACD is very close to seeing a bull cross on the weekly, and the stochastic's not far behind it. And we're set to potentially close over that 10-week moving average there at $1.99. We also rejected right at the 100 weekly moving average, which is sitting at 260. So you can see we rejected last time, and again this time. That was very, very strong resistance. And we haven't closed above that 100 weekly moving average since July of 2021. So if we can close 2, preferably 3 candle closes above that, I think we'll be going to the 200, and a lot of our names are starting to trend back to that. Look at GTBIF. Green Thumb, it actually kissed it perfectly. Look at High Tide. It came very close to doing it as well. So if Tilray is one of the leaders in the space, the number one in market share in Canada, arguably one of the biggest companies in the world, right? Why can't it get back even to halfway between its 100 and 200 weekly? That'd put us around $4 or $5. I think, we'd easily get back up to that $4 to $6 mark over the next couple of months, in my opinion. So like I said, that's looking really good. If we can just see a couple weekly candle closes over that'd be the first time in about 3 years. And then we're also gearing up for a golden cross with the 50-day moving average below the 200-day moving average. So like I said, the technicals are all pointing to massive upside. Don't be too, beaten down about all the pullback today. It should be expected in the future when something goes up 40, 80%, you need to expect 10, 20, 30% pullback respectively, right? And then not only that, I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care how many lawsuits, I don't care how many FUD campaigns, I don't care how many social media influencers or any, attorneys or whoever, gurus, say it's not going to get rescheduled to Schedule 3. Believe me, we're only going to go up from here. It's going to be number go up and to the right over the next few years. And I think that I think it's 99.99999% chance we're either going to get rescheduling to Schedule 3 enacted or descheduling. I'm not sure. I think maybe it's a 20, 30% chance we get descheduling, and the market wouldn't be ready for that at all. And, maybe they leave it up to the states or something like that, depending on the verbiage. But I think 20, 30% chance we get descheduling and they bypass Schedule 3, or 70, 80% chance that we're going to get Schedule 3 enacted, right? We got the approval now of Schedule 3. Now what people aren't ready for, most people are ready for up, down, or sideways, but are you ready for the surprise? And this time the surprise that the markets would not see coming would be them bypassing Schedule 3 altogether and descheduling it effectively on the same level playing field as alcohol and tobacco. That would be something. So going to end it there, and believe you me, if that ever happened, these would be going a lot higher than 80%, and the next day after, they would not pull back 10, 20, 30%. They would probably run 100, 200% on that announcement and then pull back 10, 20, 30, 40%, right? So if this video was helpful, smash the like, share it with your network. I would appreciate it. I love each and every one of you who supported me along the way. It's Rod with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. Hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you again on the next video.